Indiana Fever preseason has officially come, and it has officially gone.
The Indiana Fever did finish the WNBA preseason undefeated.
Caitlin Clark is sinking shots from distances that look unreachable for most players, while Lexie Hull is turning into the Fever's late-game standout. One team source described it best. "I think Caitlin Clark has even pushed her range further. She's drilling those long bombs effortlessly."
The Indiana Fever close out the preseason 3-0, victory against the Mystics, victory against the Brazilian national team, and another victory this afternoon against the Atlanta Dream.
The Fever wrapped up their preseason with a spotless 3-0 record, but it wasn't short on drama. A major injury and surprising statements from Atlanta Dream players added intrigue. With standout plays and surprising twists, here's how Indiana's perfect finale in Atlanta unfolded. If you're hyped for the season, comment, "I've got the Fever," below. Let's roll.
When I watch the Fever, even when they're not at their best, one thing I can't help but think is that they're just going to run teams off the floor and destroy them with their firepower. They just have so many players that can beat you and can score. And, you know, Dewana Bonner didn't even start this game. Sophie Cunningham started in her place.
Did you hear Caitlin Clark nearly missed the Fever's last preseason matchup less than a day before facing the Atlanta Dream? Fever fans anxiously followed every update. The news caught many off guard. Clark had banged into a practice player during the final session, re-injuring her previously strained leg.
They're just doing a drill, and if you're looking what happens here. Caitlin Clark pulls up. Caitlin Clark pulls up immediately. And a lot of people are saying that it's not the end.
Picture this. The Fever's medical crew hurrying to check their top rookie while their unbeaten preseason run was at stake. 2 victories, no defeats. But now their star was sitting out with ice on her leg. Supporters wondered if this was a warning sign. Would pro-level pressure be too heavy for them? As trainers continued evaluating her, social media swirled with rumors. Would Clark miss this last tune-up? Could this affect her debut in the regular season? Each moment brought more questions.
Coach just mentioned you've been limited in practice this week. Just how are you kind of working back from that leg injury?
Yeah, I think taking my time. I feel really good, honestly, and excited to get out there and play again tomorrow, work on things that we need to work on. And yeah, Maria's been great. Our medical staff has been really helpful. But I feel really good, honestly.
Then came the update that gave the entire Fever fan base a huge sigh of relief. Clark got the green light to play. Not only that, she was starting. The injury scare quickly faded into the background, replaced by the thrill of seeing her back in action.
You know, there's no reason to overdo anything right now. It's been the beginning of the season. Still don't play here for another week, but the last 2 days have been really, really good for myself.
You know what started? What caused it to get her?
I don't. Probably just a little too much basketball. I think, you know, I love being in the gym, but I think understanding like when to be in the gym and, you know, when to recover and things like that. So I think just finding a balance and obviously just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was nothing major or anything like that.
Right from tip-off, it was obvious Clark wasn't holding anything back. She fired long-range shots that gave defenders no chance. Robin Lundberg, WNBA analyst for Sports Illustrated, tweeted, "I believe Caitlin Clark might have stretched her range. She's draining those deep threes with total ease."
Irons it. So second attempt, same spot, same result for Maya Caldwell. That's Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her first triple of...
A specific three-pointer near the logo brought back memories of her famous shot just a week ago in Iowa. Atlanta's defenders stood helpless as the ball soared and dropped perfectly through. This wasn't just an athlete adjusting to pro hoops. This was Caitlin Clark making her presence known. By game's end, she'd moved past injury concerns and recorded an excellent line. 13 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in only 23 minutes.
Natasha Howard gets the bucket. Step back triple. Delphi Mitchell to the rim. Well, that's Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her triple.
As the horn sounded on Indiana's 81-76 win over Atlanta, the Fever accomplished a rare feat, an undefeated 3-0 preseason. What began with uncertainty finished with new hope for what lies ahead. With a close contest entering the fourth, Indiana found an unlikely game-changer, and it wasn't Caitlin Clark. The focus turned to Lexie Hull, who had steadily improved throughout the preseason while adapting to her new bench role. Remember, Hull closed out last season as a starter and delivered strong defense and offense, even leading the league in three-point accuracy over that stretch.
And now BG says she's rediscovered her love for the game, saying Atlanta reminds me of home. I'm back in the South, and this was the best decision of my life.
She is completely fine, just needing rest, so we will not see her for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, we can't give out all our weapons.
Turnover as Matt Caldwell got a little too deep.
But thanks to the addition of new all-star free agents, Hull has respectfully moved into a reserve role this year. Yet something about her felt different in this game. Her stride showed poise, and her movement carried purpose that grabbed attention. This wasn't the same Hull from before. This was a player stepping into command.
I think more than anything, just being able to practice with our team. We're getting a lot of good reps in practice, and I think, confidence comes from that. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice. And, our team's super competitive. So every single day that we've had of training camp so far has felt pretty much game-like. Like we're all taking it very serious, and it starts in practice.
The Atlanta Dream kept the pressure high, threatening to break Indiana's preseason streak on every trip down the court. The crowd's energy built with each possession. Could the Fever remain unbeaten? That's when Hull delivered. With Indiana needing scoring, she answered with sharp execution. She sliced through tight defense like it wasn't there and hit contested mid-range shots with confidence. In one highlight moment, she split two Dream players and finished at the rim with a smooth layup.
It's like, nah, shoot that thing when you open. Lexie Hull getting downhill, finds the bucket and one, as this will be the largest lead for Indiana.
Her impact extended far beyond just putting points on the board. Hull's defensive effort threw Atlanta off rhythm, forcing turnovers and creating transition chances. Her sharp vision helped teammates score with ease. The Dream couldn't respond to Hull's relentless energy late in the contest. Afterward, Coach Stephanie White commented on Hull's growth, summing up what we all saw. When you accept your role like Lexie does, you can't let it confine you, right? White said, highlighting Hull's ability to grow while staying committed to her responsibilities.
She's playing with such a high level of confidence. You saw that the second half of last season, her starting to grow into that. I think you saw it a lot in Unrivaled as well. It unlocked, I think, a little bit of creativity. I think sometimes when you're a young player in this league, when you accept your role, as Lexie does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like your role can change throughout the course of a season, your role can change throughout the course of career.
White pointed to Hull's improved creativity and the rising trust her teammates now place in her. She's really positioned herself well for that, the coach said, clearly proud of Hull's strides. Hull, in return, praised the team's competitive practices for her late-game performance. Confidence is built by repeating those game-like reps again and again during practice, she shared. Her time winning a title in the tough 3-on-3 league also played a role in sharpening her defensive instincts and isolation game.
It's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything, we're a deep team, and I think everyone's really bought into trusting the process. This season, it might not start off super pretty, but we know that putting in the work, putting in, trust into the coaching staff, trust in each other, that by the end of the season we'll be exactly where we want to be. So just excited, with the progress we've made even over just 3 games.
When the final horn blew, Hull had transformed from role player to game changer, delivering 11 of her 14 points during a critical fourth quarter that sealed the win. The official numbers said it all. Hull's scoring under pressure gave the Fever what they needed when it mattered most. Her outing was more than just standout. It could end up changing the entire structure of Indiana's rotation as they enter regular season play.
He does. You can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career. So you want to be able to stretch and expand. And I think Lexie's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that, running actions for her, allowing her to decision make. Hell, I think in the Washington game, we had her playing some point. So it's a tribute to the work that she's put in, the confidence that she's built with her discipline and work ethic in the off season. And you trust her on the floor. You trust her to make the right play and make the right read.
With Hull stepping up as a trustworthy option in tight moments, Indiana suddenly seemed much deeper than expected. In one night, Hull might have jumped from steady backup to potential game changer in the Fever's playoff push. But not everything was smooth. One tense moment exposed a different side of Caitlin Clark. In the second quarter, she took the spotlight for a reason other than shooting brilliance. After a heated exchange, Clark drew a technical foul, showing just how fiercely competitive she is.
Get 12-3 run as they are now just down 1 point.
Visualize this. Clark delivers a bounce pass that's picked off by Atlanta, ending in a fast break layup by Brianna Jones. Clark clearly felt a foul was missed. Upset, she hurled the ball at the base of the basket after the play. The referee immediately assessed a technical foul, Clark's first of the preseason. What followed reflected Indiana's growing chemistry. Sophie Cunningham, known for her own fiery approach, stepped in as the calming presence. While Clark continued to argue, Cunningham pulled her away to de-escalate, taking on the role of a veteran leader and shielding Clark from further trouble.
Cunningham actually stepped on somebody's foot and turned her ankle and had to leave the game.
Now things took a turn. Just after stepping in to calm Clark, Cunningham encountered an issue of her own. During the third quarter, she leaped for a rebound but came down awkwardly on Ryan Howard's foot. It was instantly clear something had gone wrong. Cunningham dropped to the floor and then limped over to the Fever bench in visible discomfort. Later, it was confirmed she had a right ankle injury, and she was labeled doubtful to return for the rest of the game.
Hopefully the Fever are fully healthy going into that game. Hopefully Sophie Cunningham is good to go in that game. I know she was seen in a walking boot afterwards, but that's typical. It clearly wasn't a serious injury, but it doesn't mean it's going to be healthy a week from today either.
Fever supporters anxiously awaited updates, wondering if this setback would derail early season plans.
Would this injury impact
Coach
the team's
Stephanie
regular
White
season
offered
plans?
a glimmer of hope after the game, quoting Cunningham's own words, "I'll be fine."
Coach Stephanie White provided
White
some
also
relief in her
noted Cunningham
post-game
had
comments,
already begun
sharing
treatment
that
in a cold tub, showing the staff's urgency in
the team was
jump-starting
taking
recovery.
immediate steps toward
Still,
recovery.
there were no immediate scans done on her ankle,
leaving some
a
uncertainty
degree of
heading toward the
uncertainty
season
just
opener.
days before the regular season was set to begin.
I think so. She was in there getting it in a cold tub, so she keeps saying I'll be fine, so I trust her.
Even with the injuries and pressure, the game was filled with sportsmanship that revealed why some teams stand out. Both before and after the contest, players exchanged sincere respect. Warm hugs and friendly chats showed that fierce battles on the hardwood don't stop genuine human connections. One standout moment involved Caitlin Clark and Brittney Griner. Though their on-court time was limited, the two stars shared a heartfelt embrace after the game. Fans noticed and praised the interaction, with one writing, "Great respect from Clark and Griner." The moment with the technical foul reminded us of Clark's passionate nature and the team's bond. Clark showed her refusal to quit, and veterans rallied to keep that fire channeled. At the same time, Cunningham's injury sparked valid questions about her status for the opener against Chicago.
We did a better job of taking care of the ball in the second half. I was disappointed that we had 10 first half turnovers. A lot of them were trying to force things that just weren't there. I didn't feel like we were patient enough to get into our offense. So we did a better job of taking care of the ball. I always love when we have a high assist to made field goal ratio. I think we're going to find a lot of success when that happens for us. Quality depth, they came in and made impact, no doubt. And being able to, hold a team to 34% from the field. All points of emphasis for us. And Even though it's not always that pretty, it's progress, and that's what we need.
These emotional swings and signs of unity highlighted what truly sets the WNBA apart. Fierce grit matched with authentic respect. The Fever proved they have the passion to compete, while showing sportsmanship that strengthens league camaraderie. What fans witnessed was not just a group of skilled players, but a roster shaping into something deeper, tough, driven, and respectful of the game and rivals alike. With a spotless 3-0 preseason, Indiana just sent a strong message to the rest of the WNBA. But what does this winning streak really indicate? It's less about preseason scores and more about early signs of something meaningful building in Indiana. The chemistry among Clark, Hull, Boston, Mitchell, and others has looked natural from the jump. The pressing question now is whether this early momentum will withstand the grueling stretch of regular season play. Teams are already breaking down tape on Clark, planning defensive schemes to slow her down and reduce her influence on the court.
You want to win. I think winning it gives you a different kind of vibe, a different kind of feel. But more than anything, we want to see growth. We want to see how we're able to utilize our depth. We want to continue to see different combinations, different lineups, what it looks like. And we want to see application of things that we've done in practice.
The real challenge kicks off on May 17th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, when the Fever host the Chicago Sky in a nationally televised matchup on ABC that fans are eagerly awaiting. The Sky will likely test Clark's resolve with aggressive defense, aiming to deny her possessions and disrupt her timing by jumping screens. Added to that is the uncertainty of Sophie Cunningham's ankle, injured during the Atlanta game. While Coach White shared that Cunningham said, "I'll be fine," and was already getting treatment in the cold tub, her status for the opener is still unknown. Still, her toughness reflects this team's mentality.
She's so fun to play with. She has a different energy about her, something you can't teach, something you can't tell people to act like, because you either have that or you don't. And being able to play with her, you feed off of that, and she feeds off the crowd feeds off her, so it's super fun. And I'm very grateful to get to play alongside her.
One of the most exciting storylines is the growing on-court synergy between Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull. Their performance in the Atlanta matchup hinted at the potential for this duo to develop into one of the most dangerous offensive pairings across the entire league.
Yeah, just giving a different kind of look and seeing what we might be able to do from that standpoint with Sophie's energy in the starting lineup and with DB's production coming off the bench. So, we'll probably continue throughout the course of the week tinkering a little bit. But preseason gives us a good opportunity to see what we like, because it's important to have a good starting group and it's important to have energy and production off the bench.
What sets this Indiana Fever team apart isn't only its star players, it's the promising depth emerging across the board. Hull's continued rise is a prime example. These supporting players are proving they belong on this level, contributing to a rotation that may exceed expectations. Although the Fever have fine-tuning ahead, Coach White noted they're starting to build layers into our attack offensively and our coverages defensively, signaling that this group still has room to elevate its game.
The growth process or the growth edge for young competitive players is how you channel your energy, right? Like Tamika Catchings was the same way as a young player. You're fiery, you're competitive, and so being able to channel it in a way that is positive, for her and for our team, and it's part of growing, right?
While no one's ready to throw a championship celebration yet, this preseason explained why Indiana's outlook is suddenly so optimistic. A solid foundation is forming faster than predicted. The 3-0 sweep hints at a special era possibly starting in Indiana. Is it premature to mention the word dynasty? Perhaps, but everything seems aligned. Clark's star talent, Hull's newfound confidence, and chemistry that normally takes seasons to build. When the Fever host the Chicago Sky on May 17th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, live on ABC, they'll bring more than momentum. They've already overcome adversity together. Injury concerns, emotional texts, pressure situations, and come out stronger. The real question now isn't if the Fever will shake up the league in 2025, But how much? If you're pumped for tip-off, comment, "I've got the fever" below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Basketball Prime Stories, and turn on notifications, so you never miss an update. Click the next video to keep watching, and we'll catch you there.